I'm going to tell you a story about my girlfriend who is having problems with a stalker. Her name's Ami, and she goes to college from her parents' house. The first case was being stalked on the way home from her part-time job at night, followed by a silent phone call for an unknown number, and recently, a creepy guy grabbed her shoulder. I was also worried about Ami and tried to cheer her up by escorting her on her way home when I could, and by calling her at night, but she always seemed to be in tears. Poor girl, she must be so scared. One day, after hearing the conversation between Ami and her friend Keiko, I decided to use my paid day off the next day to face the stalker that was pestering her. I heard that they were going to stay at Keiko's apartment where she lives alone, and I realized that this was dangerous, so I decided to make night patrols to protect two women. Of course, I didn't have the audacity to go into their house, and more importantly, I didn't know Keiko so well. So I decided to patrol around their apartment on my own, so to speak, in the spirit of a volunteer. On the day of the visit, after Ami arrived safely at Keiko's house, I called her in the dark of night when the lights in the house were fading away. She had not picked up the phone recently, but since she was with her friend, she picked it up. I said on the phone to her, I'm nearby, so don't worry. I was so nervous that my voice was hoarse, probably because I hadn't talked to Ami in a while, but it seemed that she was still terrified of the stalker, and I heard a short scream or moan through the phone. Ami, is that the stalker? I heard what I thought was Keiko's voice for sure. I was surprised that a stalker had appeared in the vicinity, even though I was on my rounds, and I immediately rushed to Keiko's apartment. I looked up from the street to see Keiko's room glistening in the light, and asked over the phone, "Are you alright?" Ami only cried and spilled out trembling, "Help me." I looked up at the window and saw her looking out onto the street, talking on her phone. Later, as I was knocking on the front door of Keiko's house, some police came, probably called by her. They thought I was the stalker and they seized me. I told them over and over about the possibility of a stalker hiding in the neighborhood, but they put me in a police car to accompany them to the station, probably to hear more details. I would do anything to cooperate for the sake of Ami. After I told the police the full extent of the stalking situation at the station, they must have understood, because after signing some documents, I was released. Ever since then, the police patrols around Ami's house have increased, so it seems that my role in this case is over. A year has passed since then, and the police patrols have been lifted. I was relieved to see that Ami had recovered from the fear of being stalked and was doing well. So I decided to visit her for the first time in a while. I'm looking forward to see what kind of expression she would make when I see her. I can't wait.